On to the next part. As I was preparing for this, I of course turned to ChatGPT, as everyone does. And there I learned many of the things that you can already see in the brochure. So Rodolphe Saadé, since taking over the company in 2018, has achieved a lot, to put it mildly. Under his leadership, CMA CGM are the third largest container shipping company globally, fifth in logistics, and a top media conglomerate in France. The company employs 160,000 people worldwide, operating across 160 countries. They run over 700 container ships and 59 terminals in the four corners of the world. But it's really what ChatGPT missed that was the most interesting to me. What can be lost in the statistics is that CMA CGM, despite its massive scale, is above all a family business. What turned into this global behemoth started with about less than 50 years ago with two partners and one ship. Through long-term bets and vision, they've been able to grow the company massively yet sustainably, always giving back to their community and staying true to their family values. Rodolphe and the family have done this through philanthropy, education, jobs, businesses across France, Lebanon, and the world. And when I reflect on this, what I see is that Rodolphe's story is an eminently Lebanese one. Start small, be relentless, grow fast, yet take care of your people. Seek, conquer new horizons, but never forget your roots, which applies to everyone else in this room as well. As such, ladies and gentlemen, it is my great honor to welcome Rodolphe Saadé to the stage. Please give it up. In conversation with our chairman, Gabi Sarah, who you all know very, very well.
Rodolphe, how are you?
Fine, and you, Gabi?
Great, great. I mean, we're so happy to have you. It's such an honor.
Thank you.
It's a very special gift to give us tonight to be with us. Of course, it's impossible to talk about Rodolphe. It would take probably a long, long time of talking and research. Antoine gave a little glimpse of who Rodolphe is, but tonight we want to discover Rodolphe, the person, the man who is behind this huge enterprise. So maybe first you can tell us the family story, from how he started. I mean, that's such an incredible story, so we'd love to hear it. And I know you are a great storyteller.
Thank you, Gabi, and thank you, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. Maybe one thing, I went to Jamhour, I was, I think, 4 or 5 years of age, for only 3 months. So I'm not like all of you. I did not make all my studies at Jamhour, but only 3 months, so sorry for that. But going back to your question, so the story began with my father in 1978. He left Lebanon, like many of you during the war, to establish his business in France. And he picked Marseille because he said Marseille looks like Beirut. And Beirut was so special to him. So he established his office, 4 employees, 25 square meters, and 1 ship operating between Marseille, Genoa, and Beirut. And a few years later, he said, let's look at Asia. What is happening in Asia? He started, first of all, with the Philippines and then China. And what changed the industry, what changed CMA CGM, was the development in China. And today, we operate 700 container ships. We are 160,000 associates around the world, and we cover 160 countries. So, in a small words.
Tell us about the container. It seems like the container was a major story in his life.
He was very curious about what happened in Vietnam. And during the Vietnam War, the US government was moving goods to the GIs using containers. And he said, why don't we do the same, but not for the GIs, but for all people who are importing and exporting goods. And this is how he got the idea of developing his own business in shipping.
Yeah, yeah. And what's impressive is that such a huge company is not public, it's private. It's one family running the whole show. And, you know, can you explain to us how it's good or not to have a family running this business?
Why should it be bad?
I don't know, you know.
It has to be good. I mean, it was always a question that was asked to my father many years ago, and people said to him, why don't you go public? And he said, never. Maybe my children will decide otherwise. But I think with my sister and my brother, we have learned from him, and I would say the same. Hopefully never. Why? Because in shipping, if you are listed, you need to go through a board. And boards cannot, especially in a business that is so cyclical, like shipping, where there are ups and downs, where we are subject to geopolitics. If we have to go through a board and wait for answers, then we will miss out on opportunities. That is why it is so important for a shipping line. And if you look at the ranking of others, they are also, most of them are privately owned. And my family owns 75% of CMA CGM. We have a Turkish family who owns 24%, and we have the French sovereign fund who own about 1%.
And you know, obviously it was a shipping company initially, but then it evolved. So can you tell us how the fil d'Ariane between the shipping, the logistics, the media, the education, and beyond, you know, how?
Of course, I don't know if it is the same for you, but COVID forced us to look at the world differently and to take actions because we were so concerned about what is going to happen to all of us that we took decisions that were very bold. And one of them was to invest in logistics. Today, the turnover of CMA CGM is about $55 billion. 60% is in shipping, 40% is in logistics. And 5 years ago, maybe a little less than 5 years ago, we had zero turnover in logistics. And what pushed us to move into logistics is the fact that shipping and logistics complement each other. We have many customers, especially in the US market, the Amazon and the Walmart of this world, who are looking for end-to-end solutions, meaning from factory to the customer's premises. And this is what CMA CGM is today, a shipping and logistic business. And I believe that this makes quite a lot of sense because we are in a position to serve customers differently and hopefully better. Why media? I understand the question. I believe that in a group of our size that is very strong in France, it's good to diversify. And in media, I think it brings value also to the group. We are not doing it to gain influence. This is not the intent. But at the same time, what I believe is when you diversify, and media is a good diversification. It is a business that is difficult, but if you organize yourself well, I think you can make money. Small, but you can still make money.
And education and philanthropy, which is also a big part of your work at CGM.
Education, I very much believe in education, and we have managed to finalize many agreements with many universities, of which Lebanese universities, French ones, some in the UK, and we signed today an agreement with Colombia, where we are also doing a partnership with them. I very much believe in education, and we need to have the best at CMA CGM. And in order to get the best, you need to make sure that the people that are joining you have received the best education. And we are very keen on investing in this field. Now, we also have our foundation that my mother initiated many years ago and that my sister today is sharing. We believe in not keeping everything for ourselves, but to share with people who need help from us. And we're not doing it to get a reward. We're doing it because we have a heart. And if we can help others, let's do it.
And tell us about the program of excellence that you are now, promoting.
We believe that Lebanese students have a great potential, and they are facing difficulties securing money to pay for their studies. And what we have done at CMA CGM is to set up our own CMA CGM Excellence Fund, and we are funding the studies of students who want to go to France, who want to go to the UK. And what we're trying also to do is to convince them that once they have their diploma, to come and work for us. It does not work all the time, because I understand we have fierce competition from the finance world, but we are doing better than the finance world these days.
So looking at the past 10 years, when you think about those 10 years, wars, the pandemic, economic catastrophes all over, and you survive amazingly well. How do you see the next 10 years? Because we could have another pandemic in the next 10 years. It's very possible. Wars, we know that they are going on. Maybe we'll have more. How do you prepare yourself to face the uncertainty that is in the future?
What I usually do is I visit the US, because it is so refreshing to come to the US to see everything that is happening. You are positive. You like people who succeed. You have no issues with taxes. And we feel very much at home coming to see you. I'm sorry, I know we have French colleagues in the room, so they will not be too upset with me. But I think that you have a great chance of having the US. And I'm not talking politics, I'm talking about you have a great country. And what we feel is, even if times are difficult, you are all positive. And this is what I aim for. And this is what I would like the CMA CGM team to do the same, is to always be positive, because you will have ups and downs. One day you will be happy, the next it will be a different story. And so what? We are fighters. Today we make money, tomorrow we may lose, but we will repeat the story all over again, with a smiling face and ready to fight.
So, you know, here in the States, we talk about the American dream. I'd like to propose the Lebanese dream, and I think you represent that.
Thank you.
And a lot of Lebanese here, for me, are the Lebanese dream. In your company, what is impressive, you have 160,000 employees from all over the world. The cultures of each one is very special. It's very hard to unite all these cultures with one goal. I mean, how do you do that? I mean, how do you work with it? I mean, the fact that you are somebody who has a very multicultural background, many language, French, Lebanese, etc. So I'm sure it helps you to deal with the multiple cultures of your associates or employees.
It's not an easy subject. We have grown through acquisitions and also organically. And when you acquire a company, you try to integrate that company, and it does not always work. This morning, I was trying to convince somebody who decided to resign to stay with us. And he is also Lebanese, so I said I will talk to him in Arabic and he will say, I'm staying. Not at all. So I talk about money. I said, how much do you want? And he said, it's not about money. It's about stability. It's about understanding your strategy. And if I feel at home, if I feel at ease, then I will reconsider. So I said, why don't you write to me? And I will try to answer positively. But for the time being, he did not write yet. So you see, it does not work always. But you need to give it your best shot.
Yeah.
And even if people will come and go, we are 160,000 people around the world. We have very strong values, and we would like to continue expanding as one very big family, but as one family.
Yeah. I know you're very concerned about the environment and the carbon emission, and I know you're working hard. You seem, maybe you're the leader in the work in that field. Can you explain to us a bit more about it, and how do you do that?
People believe that when you are in shipping, it means that the ships that you are operating are emitting a lot of CO2 carbon emissions. I believe it's not true, because we are taking many steps to reduce our carbon footprint. One way of doing so is to operate ships that are LNG propelled. What is LNG? Is an energy that allows us to reduce our CO2 emission by about 20%. People say this is not enough, especially as I have taken a bold commitment that in 2050 we will be at carbon zero. Today, especially with the strategy that the US have decided to pursue, it's difficult for others to aim for a zero emission in 2050. But no matter what, the objective of CMA CGM is to continue operating ships that pollute much less and emit much less CO2. It's a big target. It's not easy every day. But I think that if we want to protect the planet and to leave a clean world to our children, we need to aim high. And this is what the objective that I'm trying to pursue, but it's quite a big challenge. The difficulty we have is not all countries have the same strategy. And for us, if you are to deal with Asia, you deal with Europe, and you deal with America, and every country has a different way of looking at CO2 emissions, it's a bit nightmare. It's a big nightmare for us. But we have to manage.
So now turning to Lebanon, which of course has so many difficulties and challenges, and you're getting more and more involved in Lebanon. I have the impression that you do. What do you see that is attracting to you? What do you see you can do in Lebanon? Where do you see the positive in Lebanon? So we hear something different than failing state and bad country and all of that. We want to hear something. What makes you go there and then put your energy for Lebanon?
Gabi, Lebanon is facing difficulties, but there are so many countries who are facing difficulties. So Lebanon is not the only place where they have problems. But at the same time, what you see, and this is what I'm discovering every day, especially when I visit Lebanon, is this fighting spirit. Is that even if it is difficult, they have a big smile and they want to go ahead with it. And this is what I like about the Lebanese spirit. And this is what we need to continue pushing. Because it's very easy to be pessimistic and to say this is the end of it. There's not much we can do. The country is bankrupt. They have no good politicians, etc., etc. This is not what I'm saying. I'm saying that there are many Lebanese who very much believe in their country. And they are doing the best they can, everybody at his own level. And my family and the CMA CGM group are also doing their best to try and show that things are possible. And hope is also possible. And you should not let go. And you should not say no.
Thank you for that. So obviously, I think a lot of people tonight are from the Lebanese diaspora. And you are in touch with the diaspora through your work and travel. And the diaspora has been an amazing support for Lebanon, that we know that. But also, sometimes you feel that people get discouraged because they feel that no matter what they do, they can't change the system. So what can you tell us to just encourage the diaspora or give us some tools?
As we are only you and me in this room, I can be very direct. What would be good from the diaspora is invest. Sending money is good, but invest is a different story. And this is what we need to do, the Lebanese diaspora. We need to invest in Lebanon. Buying Rifai at the airport, this is great news. But it's not enough. It's not enough. You need to invest, and we are investing heavily. In some cases, I'm not expecting a return, but I'm doing it because it's important for Lebanon. So we have invested in the concession of the port of Beirut, the port of Tripoli. We have done many things, and we will continue doing so. Because I believe that the best way to help Lebanon pick up is to invest.
Getting a little bit more personal, you know in Arabic, "Adil ولاد شنق حاله." For those who don't speak Arabic, the judge of the children hanged himself because he just couldn't find a solution between the kids fighting with each other. So being a father is not easy, obviously. And how do you combine being a husband and a father and being a global leader with probably a crazy schedule every day? How you find the balance between those two jobs? And which one is harder, by the way?
I think what is good is I have the chance of having my wife in this room today with us. So, Veronique, good evening. I have two great children that have decided to study in the UK. So I don't see them much, but this is the way it is. And they are enjoying very much their studies in the UK. I think you need to find a balance. You cannot be perfect. I work a lot, and if I am to be successful, I need to work like everybody else in this room. I don't believe in miracles, so if you don't give it your best try, your best shot, and if you do not dedicate a lot of your time working, then it's difficult to succeed. I work on weekends, but I also try to spend time with the family, quality time with the family, and I travel a lot. So it's a combination of many things, but I like what I'm doing. And if you are not passionate about what you do, change job. For me, it will be difficult because it's a family-owned business, but still. No, I like what I'm doing. And I have a great team by my side, so we have a lot of fun. So, and they're with me in this room, so thank you for your great support, the great team. They're falling asleep, some of them, but no, they are a great team. And this is what I like about business. It's a combination of everything. There will be good days, there will be bad days. But as long as you have a smiling face, who cares?
So when you have bad days, and you probably have faced many bad days, you know, or some difficult phases of the company, what grounds you? What makes you stand on your feet and then not give up and continue? Where do you find your strength?
I think in my children. I'm getting emotional, so maybe you want to ask another question, but no, I'm just kidding. No, it's everybody has his own way of wanting to move ahead and to get things done. And I think that they are not always good days. And we went through difficult times in 2008. My mother said we were about to lose everything, and my father said, no, we had a rough day. It was a little bit more than a rough day. But so we have ups and downs, and like Lebanon, there are good days and bad days, but we are still here. And this is what is important.
So I don't want to hijack the evening. I'm enjoying very much asking questions to Rodolphe. I could ask many more, but I think I should be fair to the audience and give you the mics at this point and ask you to stand up and ask questions to Rodolphe, who told me he'll answer any question. So feel free to ask him anything you want. But I will ask whomever will stand up to state your name so we can hear it clearly. And please, questions and no long comments, because I don't think anyone wants to hear that. We want to hear what Rodolphe has to say. So the mics are around. Raise your hand and then.
Thank you. Hi, Rodolphe. Comment ça va? Karim Awad. So in regards to getting to zero carbon technology, emissions, do you see batteries reaching a stage where they could actually be used on big boats and therefore addressing and resolving your objective?
The only issue with hydrogen is batteries, is you need very big batteries on board. And the bigger the batteries, the less containers you will put on board. So there's a question of cost related to hydrogen. Maybe for small ships, for small distances, we can use hydrogen. But when it comes to Asia, to Europe, this will be a problem. I think what we have today with LNG is a good energy. It's a transition energy, but at least it's worth using it.
Thank you.
Raise your hands, please, if you... Sandro, right in the front here.
On the front. Hi, Ricardo Karam. I've got a couple of questions. The theme of this evening was an educated nation never dies. What do you think is the single most dangerous thing Lebanon has failed to teach its youth?
What I would say is, what can we do better? I would put it in a different way. Why be pessimistic? Let's look at it positively. What can we do as Lebanese to help the young generation be more educated? We as an initiative have decided to pay for the scholarships, and I know that there are other Lebanese who are doing the same. And the more we help, the more the young generation will be educated. It's not an easy thing, and I don't believe the government is in a position to do anything about it today. So it's up to us who have the financial means to help to do so. This is the way I would look at it.
Second question, Lebanese schools like Jamhour produce brilliant minds that leave the country, like all of those young people who are here tonight. Do you believe education in Lebanon today is saving the country or emptying it?
But what's wrong about Lebanese, the young generation who has received a good education at Jamhour, to go and study or to work in the US? What's wrong if they come back? On the contrary, they need to go out of Lebanon to see the world. Staying at home is good, but they need to go, live a new life, a different life, and then come back to invest. If they stay in Lebanon, maybe it's a small country, and they need to broaden their scope. That is why I would be promoting for the young generation to go outside of Lebanon, to know the world, and then come back, like some of us.
My last question, 50 years from now, what do you hope CMA CGM footprint in Lebanon to be remembered for charity, for development, or for transformation?
Everything.
Thank you.
I'd like to quote Michel Eddy, actually. One day he was asked this question about Lebanese leaving Lebanon. And I love his answer. He said, they're not leaving Lebanon, they're expanding Lebanon to the world. So I thought it was a beautiful way of looking at it. Next question. There's somebody over there, I think.
Hi, my name is Amal Moussa. Us as Lebanese, one of our features is to take risk. We take risk in our lives. We take bold moves, as you said. How do you balance taking risks and also ensuring that you're stable enough in what you're doing?
In my business, I have to take risk and bold decisions. And there is no way other than, and it as a family business, family controlled, I believe that if you do not take risks and you take quick decisions, you're dead. We are not in administration. We are, at the end of the day, responsible for the 160,000 associates we have around the world. We have to be also careful with the way we take decisions. So when we take decisions, we also study thoroughly the subject before saying yes or no. But once I decide, I don't come back. And what I try to also explain in our business is if you do not take decisions on the spot, then you will miss out on an opportunity. And if I am to compare with other shipping lines or other logistic providers who have a different setup, i.e. listed or not family owned, they cannot take decisions the way we take them. And every day I take many decisions. And every day, even if my decision has proven to be wrong, and it happens, at least I would have taken decision at the right moment. And this is what is important. Because you can always say, I will not decide today, we will see tomorrow. But if you do that, then it's not good, because somebody else will have taken the decision and would have taken market share away from you. So I very much believe in taking decisions. Study your files, study your subject, and then move ahead. And move ahead. People may say, but okay, but that's your money. Okay, but it's even worse. So that is why I'm a firm believer of taking decisions. And of course, risks. Otherwise, open a pizza store and have fun. And I have nothing against pizza stores, by the way. But I mean, this is my way of looking at things. And this is the way I was trained by my father many years ago. Is take decisions, and you will see tomorrow.
Thank you.
Okay. Then.
Hi, Rodolphe. Rart Abbas. Maybe it's the same type of question as well, actually. So you're subject to so many geopolitical changes right now. So many changes in the world, so many changes with tariffs or different pressure points, essentially, that your enterprise is subject to. How are you able to steer the ship in the right direction and really have this type of agility that you need for your business to really survive in a sharky environment like this?
It is true that geopolitics play quite an important role. And since almost a year in the US, things are moving extremely fast. So we need to make sure that we move as fast as decisions that are taken. It's always easy to blame or criticize geopolitics, but this is the way it is, and you have to deal with it. Adapting is the name of the game. If you do not adapt, then you're dead. Whether it is in US, whether it is in Europe, in Asia, in the Middle East, in Latin America, we are present everywhere. It's not always easy to see what is happening in every country around the world, but we have good indications. We have a good diplomat who tells us what is happening everywhere in the world, but you have to adapt. I mean, otherwise, what else can I do? Complain, and then what? So you have to adapt, you have to take decisions, and you have to move ahead. We are financially sound, so we have a strong balance sheet. So when we take decisions, we take strong and bold decisions. But I believe that once again, in today's environment, you have to adapt. If you don't, it's difficult.
Wissam is next.
Don't forget, you are my friend, huh?
So I'm not going to ask the question then. Hi, Rodolphe. Wissam Kirouz. You spoke about your family, you spoke about your kids. I like that topic. Based on what you and your family went through in the uglier days of 2008 and what you've gone through since, what advice would you give people in this room that are starting their career, whether it's in a family business or employed at a different company? And what advice would you give your children based on either mistakes that you have made personally or experiences that you went through, and if you were to dial the clock back to 2008, you would do things differently? I hope you'll stay friends with me after this.
Yes, I will tell you. What I believe is we are family owned. We have strong family values, and we try and be as humble as we can. And this is something that is important to us. What I will say to my kids, maybe answering your second question, is follow your dreams. Be ambitious as much as you can, but do things because you are passionate about them. If you are not, it's difficult to live a life where you're living the life of somebody else. And I would like them to do things they believe in. And I will be by their side to help them as much as I can. but they have to live their experience, their dream. And the world is big. There are many places to discover. There are many people, interesting people to meet with. And then it will be their life. And it will be up to them. Maybe 2008, yes, it was a very difficult year, but this is the way life is all about, not only business life, but life as such. And there will be ups and downs. One day we will be very rich, the next day we will be less rich, and so on.
Paul, right here. Antoine. Okay, you're next, Paul.
Hello everyone, my name is Fawzi Hashaheen and I'm studying now my undergrad studies at Columbia, and I had a question to ask you about like artificial intelligence and how you see it's gonna reshape your company. Like I did an internship at your company this summer and I saw how you integrated my AI into like the company software and everything, so I wanted to ask you, how do you think like artificial intelligence and like technology is gonna shape like the shipping industry?
I believe that AI is not only going to reshape shipping, it's going to reshape all industries. Every business is going to be reshaped by AI. AI is a very good tool to help you take decisions. It will not take decisions on your behalf, but it will help you look at problems in a different way. The issue with AI is it's very expensive and it takes a lot of time before you can get return on investment. But if you don't do it, others will, and you will be falling behind.
There's one question in the front here. We're going to take 2 more questions after this one.
Hi, my name is Paul Anid. Mr. Saadé, if you were to meet with the head of the Lebanese state, what would be your advice to him?
Of which country?
Lebanese.
Ah.
Although you're not Maronite, you don't have a problem. Yes,
No. I like very much our president in Lebanon. And I believe that he is doing his best. I'm not into politics and I don't want to be in politics. But I believe that he has a very difficult job. And he has many difficult decisions to take. My only advice to him is take them.
Hi, Rodolphe. I'm Amin Nassar, and my question is kind of in the same vein. Do you think some of the solution for Lebanon is going to be political, and did you register to vote?
I believe that we as the business community have a lot to do about what is happening in Lebanon. Politics are politics, but I think that we can play an important role. And one way of doing so, and I'm coming back to my earlier point, is invest. What would be the answer of the business community, the Lebanese business community when it comes to Lebanon, is we need to continue investing. Because if you look at the area, many countries are growing. Our neighbors, Syria, is now starting to move fast. And we, in Lebanon, we also need to continue growing and developing. And this is where we step in by investing. Not all investments will generate a return on investment, but we as CMA CGM or our holding company, we continue to invest because we believe that there is a potential in Lebanon. There are businesses that are interesting to invest in, and we'll see.
What? Okay, two more questions and that's it. One in the front and one here. Go ahead. Ladies first.
Hello, my name is Rita Makhlouf. I wanted to ask you how much government regulation affects your business. I mean, you're present in 160 countries.
Too many. Too many. And coming from Europe, we love to regulate. And this is one of the issues we have in Europe. Contrary to the US, where you have a different way of doing things, and this is good for you. In Europe, we regulate too much. We regulate initiatives.
I know in Greece, for example, the shipping line is, one of the leaders because they don't pay taxes, like the government supports them a lot.
If you look at AI, AI is a new technology that we do not know yet enough. So why regulate something you do not know enough? Wait and see what is going to come up out of it, and then regulate if you have to. And this is what is an issue. When regulation steps in, it does not always create value. So my advice to the regulators is think twice.
And the last question over here.
Mr. Saadé, pleasure meeting you. My name is Bassem Karam. My question is actually a simple one, not complicated, more on a personal level. If you have to choose between persistence and talent, which one would it be, and why?
Why do I have to choose?
Because I believe the world is very diversified. So there's different characters, different personalities, and there's a lot of people with a lot of talent, but at the first hiccup, they stop. Yet people with persistence, they keep persisting till they work.
I mean, it will be your call more than mine. But what I would say is pick the best, or do the best you can, and then you will see. In life, every day has its own problems, and you need to be open-minded and do the best you can. My advice at the end is do your best.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Before we end, can you show us what is the fundraising results so far, please? Okay, but you are welcome to donate. It's not over. You can continue. Okay. So to finish, Rodolphe, first of all, thank you so much. I think everybody loved all what you said and was very interested. I could tell by the silence of the room when you were talking. Usually there is noise. Today we heard nothing except your voice. Well, leaving us tonight, what word or idea would you leave us with that you can tell everyone leaving us?
It's great to be a Jamhour alumni to begin with. I think what is great about Lebanon is to have so many talents, and we have so many in this room. So this is what I feel is great, and we're all moving in the same direction, that is to protect Lebanon and to make, how do you say in America? Make Lebanon great again?